It was a gluttony on both offense and defense for Ohio State on Saturday afternoon as the Buckeyes outgained Kent State by a final tally of 626 to 126 on the afternoon en route to a 66-0 victory over Kent State, their biggest win here at Ohio Stadium since last season's 76-0 victory over FAMU.
You can't forecast when you make these scheduling that you're going to have a new quarterback and a young offensive line, but this is what the doctor ordered when you do have young people that you have to get ready to play.
After the loss of defensive end Noah Spence following a second failed drug test and looking to rebound following their third loss in 4 games under head coach Urban Meyer, the Buckeyes came out firing on all cylinders on Saturday afternoon and didn't hold back on either side of the ball until the final whistle blew. Offensively, it was redshirt freshman quarterback J.T. Barrett who led the Buckeyes for most of the afternoon, amassing 23 completions for 312 yards and a record-tying 6 touchdowns in just over one half of action. Barrett said all he's focused on thus far, however, is his progression in each and every facet of the game.
I feel like I'm progressing each week. Last week, felt like in some areas did some good things, but I could have done better in other areas too. But I'm just trying to get better every week. That's the main thing as we go on through this season.
I thought he played good. I thought there was a couple misses too now that we could have had, but a young quarterback needs to do that.
It wasn't only Barrett who carried the offense, however, as number 16 targeted a litany of Buckeyes, including wide receiver Michael Thomas, who caught his second and third touchdown passes of the season on Saturday, and running back Curtis Samuel, who scored his first 2 career touchdowns as a Buckeye.
Yeah, we have a good team. Whoever gets the ball in their hands can make a big play. So whenever my number's called, I just focus on going out there and making a play for my team.
Despite their massive output, Meyer seems to believe that Ohio State still doesn't have an offensive identity with 3 games under their collective belt.
And we're still kind of trying to figure out who we are offensively. The identity was clear 2 years ago, and it was Braxton Miller right, Braxton Miller left, because that was kind of our best player. Last year we developed this big tailback and a really good offensive line, so that identity was started. At this point, I think we have a lot of speed, and you can tell us we're trying to get guys in open space to see what they can do.
Defensively, the Buckeyes put together quite a day as well, as the Golden Flashes threw 3 interceptions and converted only 2 of their 14 third down opportunities on the day. Defensive coordinator Chris Ash was encouraged by the effort, but still thinks the Buckeyes have room for improvement.
Not just the overall defense. We had some mistakes last week in the game that we've talked about, but we cleaned some of those things up. We weren't perfect today, but we played with good effort. We made plays. We got 3 interceptions. We got after the quarterback quite a bit. Didn't allow many yards in the second half. So they came out and they played 4 quarters. It was closer to a complete 4 quarters than what we've played so far in the previous 2.
I think everybody's heard me say I just want to challenge throws, and I thought you saw that today. Once again, not taking anything away from Kent, our opponent, but we're obviously overmatched him a little bit, and I wanted to see what I saw, and it seemed like they were, they had a hard time moving the ball on us, which should happen.
One reason for Ohio State's stellar defensive output on Saturday was the emergence of freshman linebacker Raekwon McMillan, who had 2 sacks and created a lot of chaos in the Kent State backfield.
It was a blessing out there for my coach to give me a chance. Everybody on the defensive staff had trust in me, plus the head coach. Just want to thank the fans.
With the bye week looming, Meyer said that the Buckeyes will undoubtedly rest, but they'll undoubtedly work and work hard as well.
No, we're going to practice hard this week. A lot of what you do on a bye weeks depending on what kind of team you have. But our guys need repetitions. Football is a game of, it's organized chaos out there, and the more often you can get players in those situations. And I'm looking at these young players out there who need to get off, get the coaches off the field and let them play. So I'm trying to get our players as many reps as possible by the time we get to the Big Ten season.
As was stated many times by the Buckeyes, they will have a bye week this week before taking on Cincinnati right here from Ohio Stadium at 6 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Until then, for the Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.